Introduction. In the turbulent artistic landscape of the late 16th century, a revolutionary figure emerged, capable of challenging aesthetic conventions and shaping the face of Baroque painting. Michelangelo Merisi da Caravaggio, simply known as Caravaggio, emerged as a singular figure whose tumultuous life echoed in the intensity of his works. His intricate and impactful journey, permeated by personal tragedies and public scandals, became a narrative intricately intertwined with his unique artistic expression. Caravaggio was born in 1571 in Milan, at a time when the Italian Renaissance was giving way to a new artistic era, the Baroque. Orphaned in childhood, he found refuge in the streets of Milan, where the shadows that would shape his future compositions were already beginning to form. His encounter with the painter Simone Peterzano marked the beginning of his formal artistic education, but traditional lessons were quickly transformed by Caravaggio's peculiar and innovative vision. The relentless pursuit of authenticity and realism defined Caravaggio's aesthetic. His mastery of chiaroscuro, the technique that uses strong contrasts between light and shadow, gave his works an unparalleled emotional depth. Each brushstroke, every meticulous detail, was an expression of naked and raw truth, a quest for the essence of humanity amid darkness and light. In his paintings, Caravaggio did not hesitate to break the artistic traditions of the time. Instead of idealizing figures, he portrayed them with a visceral quality that defied expectations. His subjects, often drawn from everyday life, shone with surprising authenticity. From beggars to apostles, each character came to life through Caravaggio's discerning gaze, a bridge between the sacred and the profane. However, Caravaggio's innovative art was not the only flame burning in his tumultuous life. Enveloped in controversy, scandals, and a notoriously temperamental personality, the painter often found himself at the center of social upheavals and legal troubles. His works, though revered by some, were criticized by others, challenging the aesthetic and religious norms of the time. Caravaggio himself, a man of overwhelming passions, had his share of conflicts, involving himself in violent brawls that tarnished his reputation. The complex relationship between Caravaggio and the Catholic Church adds another layer to his fascinating story. Despite creating masterpieces that adorned altars and chapels, Caravaggio did not hesitate to represent sacred figures with palpable humanity, often shocking the clergy of his time. His artistic audacity contrasted with ecclesiastical tradition, and his representations of saints and deities challenged established convention. As we delve into Caravaggio's legacy, it becomes evident that his influence transcends centuries. His unique and bold style surpassed temporal boundaries, resonating with contemporary artists and ensuring his immortality in the pantheon of art. The controversies surrounding his life only deepened the fascination for his genius, turning him into a figure as mysterious as the shadows that permeate his works. In this intriguing encounter between life and art, Caravaggio emerges as an immortal icon whose legacy resonates beyond the galleries and churches that witnessed his creations. His story, filled with light and shadow, scandals and genius, remains a lasting testament to the complexity of the human condition, captured in an unparalleled way by his skilled brushes and penetrating gaze. Biography of Caravaggio. Orphaned at the age of 6, Caravaggio grew up amidst the streets of Milan, immersing himself in the nuances of everyday life that would later color his canvases. The opportunity to cultivate his talent arose when he was adopted by the painter Simone Peterzano, where he received his formal education. However, Peterzano's influence quickly gave way to Caravaggio's singular vision. His desire for authenticity and realism took shape in the streets and experiences of his youth. Chiaroscuro, a technique that intensely contrasts light and shadow, became his artistic signature, a relentless pursuit of emotional truth. In his paintings, each feature was sculpted by light, standing out from the surrounding darkness, an expression of the intimate rooted in the palpable world. Caravaggio found inspiration in his own personal struggles, reflected in the emotional intensity of his works. His models were often drawn from the lower strata of society from those living on the margins. Significant events in his life echoed in Caravaggio's brushstrokes. His stay in Rome, crucial for his career, was marked by controversial commissions and powerful influences. During this period, he created Judith Beheading Holofernes, a bold work illustrating the brutality of the Old Testament. The shock caused by the bloody scene fueled the painter's tumultuous reputation. Caravaggio's relationship with the Catholic Church is a complex chapter. Despite numerous commissions, his bold representations of religious themes often disturbed ecclesiastical authorities. The audacity reached its peak with the Death of the Virgin, which was rejected by the Church of Santa Maria della Scala due to being too realistic. Caravaggio's personal life, however, was far from a perfect work of art. His temperamental nature and propensity for violence cast shadows over his artistic success. Involved in frequent skirmishes and legal proceedings, Caravaggio lived on the fringes of the society he portrayed so vividly. His relationship with the female figure was also tumultuous. The influence of women in his life, such as the prostitute Lena Antignetti, is suggested in his works. The duality between the charms and complexities of love, intertwined with tragedy and loneliness, permeated his life and art. Caravaggio's artistic expression, though driven by personal experiences, transcended individual narratives. His boldness influenced not only his contemporaries but reverberates in the works of later Baroque artists and continues to inspire contemporary art. Caravaggio, in his quest for truth and authenticity, stripped art of its superficial layers, revealing the raw and visceral humanity that endures beyond the centuries. Artistic style. The history of art is a rich and intricate tapestry, and within its threads, a singular thread stands out, skillfully woven by Michelangelo Merisi da Caravaggio in the late 16th century. His unique style transcended the limits of his time, marking a revolution in painting that echoes to this day. Caravaggio's most distinctive feature is chiaroscuro, a technique that immerses his characters in a dramatic interplay of light and shadow. This ability to manipulate light, highlighting crucial elements and plunging others into darkness, gave his works an unprecedented emotional depth. By focusing the viewer's attention on specific areas, Caravaggio led a unique visual experience, transforming paintings into captivating visual narratives. However, this technical mastery was not just a stylistic demonstration, but an expression of Caravaggio's singular vision of human nature. His figures, often modeled after real people found in the streets of Rome, were devoid of idealizations. Instead of portraying perfection, Caravaggio captured raw and imperfect truth. Wrinkles, gestures, expressions were meticulously observed and reproduced, offering viewers an intimate insight into the human condition. His unique style also manifested in the choice of subjects. While other painters of the time turned to mythology or idealized scenes, Caravaggio drew inspiration from common people, the marginalized, and the excluded. Beggars, prostitutes, and ordinary workers became protagonists in his paintings, challenging aesthetic and social norms. Caravaggio's boldness extended to religious representations as well. His biblical scenes, although commissioned by the Catholic Church, were innovative and sometimes provocative. In the conversion of St. Paul, the divine light that strikes the apostle is so intense that it transcends the canvas, challenging the conventional representation of miracles. This realistic and visceral approach garnered both applause and criticism, but established Caravaggio as a Baroque pioneer. However, technique was not the only distinctive feature of Caravaggio. His approach to space was revolutionary. Instead of composing his scenes in a balanced and symmetrical manner, he chose unusual angles and bold perspectives. This added dynamism to his works, immersing viewers in the represented action. Painting thus became a window into a crucial moment, frozen in time. Caravaggio's tumultuous life, marked by scandals and conflicts, also left its mark on his style. The emotional intensity of his paintings reflected the artist's own passions and tumults. His style was a reflection of his complex personality where genius coexisted with turbulence. Caravaggio's unique style, forged in the duality of light and shadow, realism and idealization reverberates through the centuries. Later artists such as Rembrandt and Caravaggio were deeply influenced by his innovative techniques. Even contemporary artistic movements, such as hyperrealism, find resonance in Caravaggio's unique approach to visual representation. Analyzing Caravaggio's legacy makes it evident that his style was not merely an aesthetic choice, but a revolution that redefined the very essence of art. His technical mastery, coupled with a profound understanding of the human condition, established him as one of the most singular and influential artists in history. In each work, Caravaggio not only painted, but narrated deep and timeless stories, inviting us to contemplate the complexity of existence through his unique lens. In contrast, Caravaggio had notable contemporaries such as Annibale Carracci, a representative of the Bolognese school. While Caravaggio delved into shadows and explored visceral realism, Carracci embraced a more classical and idealized approach. His works, such as The Triumph of Bacchus and Ariadne, exhibited harmonic balance and a more conventional style, highlighting the influence of the late Renaissance. In contrast, Caravaggio, with his bold technique and choice of unconventional themes, challenged prevailing aesthetic conventions, leaving an indelible mark on the artistic scene. Another notable contemporary was Orazio Gentileschi, whose daughter Artemisia Gentileschi would also excel in the art world. Orazio, initially influenced by Caravaggio, incorporated dramatic realism into his paintings, but unlike Caravaggio, sought to balance shadow with softer lighting. This more moderate approach can be observed in works like Judith and her maidservant. His daughter, Artemisia, later incorporated elements of her father's style into her own creations, but like Caravaggio, she challenged social and gender norms, leaving her own unique mark on Baroque art. Another remarkable contemporary was Peter Paul Rubens, a Flemish master who contrasted with Caravaggio in many aspects. While Caravaggio delved into shadows, Rubens explored a vibrant palette and exuberant technique. His monumental approach and dynamic compositions, as seen in The Descent from the Cross, offered a more expansive and ornate view. The comparison between the two artists reveals the diversity of styles within the Baroque and highlights Caravaggio's singular boldness in departing from prevailing aesthetic conventions. Caravaggio's influence extended beyond Italian borders, reaching artists such as Georges de Latour in France and Giuseppe de Ribera in Spain. Both incorporated Caravaggio's chiaroscuro into their works, but each brought their own cultural and stylistic nuances. While Latour explored stillness and introspection, Ribera used chiaroscuro to emphasize drama and intensity, highlighting the flexibility of Caravaggio's legacy. Examining Caravaggio's work compared to his contemporaries makes it clear that his radical approach to chiaroscuro and his choice of realistic themes left an indelible mark on art history. While some of his contemporaries remained within the bounds of conventional aesthetics, Caravaggio blazed a unique path, challenging norms and influencing subsequent generations. His boldness continues to resonate as a distinct voice amid the chorus of Baroque artists, highlighting him as an unparalleled pioneer in the 17th century artistic scene. And thus, we conclude the first part of the video about the artist in question. Don't forget to leave your like, comment, and share your opinions on the video. Additionally, be sure to watch the upcoming parts that are on the way. Keep participating in this artistic journey. Share it with others who share your taste, and always remember to stay connected to continue with these unfolding developments. See you in a little while.
Art.